Hi, happy February little marketing assistance video from myself at Parks Ag Solutions. And the marketing assistance videos just do a little bit of a deeper dive into a subject or even marketing information. So this month, the topic came about because it kept on being a topic that I was seeing on podcasts, in marketing letters, and even I received an email survey from my state rep of what I thought about this particular agriculture topic, and it's foreign ownership of agriculture land. So, the Ag Foreign Investment Disclosure Act is where foreign investors in U.S. ag lands must report those purchases to the USDA. And all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, have some type of foreign ownership of land. And I'm going to pull up a whiteboard here so you could see where most of these acres, and this is based on acres. So pink is going to be over 500,000. Orange there in the middle is 250 to 500,000. And the yellow is 100,000 to 250,000. And the green is from 50,000 to 100,000. And the blue, which there are a few, is less than 50,000 acres of foreign ownership of land. So as you can see, most of the acres are to the south and to the west in the US. Now let's talk some numbers. So as far as number of acres, Texas, being huge, has the largest number of acres. Then it goes Maine, up in the northeast, and then Alabama has the third greatest number of acres that's owned. So who owns them? Number one is Canada, because when you're talking agriculture land, that also includes timber and forest. So Canada is number one, the Netherlands, which was a surprise to me, not going to lie. Italy, and then UK, the United Kingdom, comes in at the third. So the use, like I said, 46% of that ground is timber and forest. Pasture and ag land is about 23% of that total ownership. So from 2009 to 2015, we just saw a modest increase in foreign owned ag lands. But since 2010 to 2020, we saw quite a significant increase in especially forest and timber, cropland, and pasture. So take cropland, for example. We went from 4.1 million acres up to 10.9 million acres. Pasture land went from 5.5 million acres up to 7.2 million acres. I found this interesting. That is mostly due to wind turbines and foreign ownership putting leases on wind for pasture and crop ground. And I'll be honest, around here, we have had some solar energy companies go in. I don't know who owns them. But that's a question I'm going to be asking now. At the very end of the ownership, who is that actually owns those wind turbines, that actually own those solar panels? Question, just a thought. I know that's how that is going to change me. As of December 2020, Canada invested in 3.8 million acres of crop ground, 4.8 acres of forest and timber. So their total is like at 9.3 million acres. You can actually see how many owners or different investors are in on that, and it's over like 1,700 different investors that are Canadian that are in on that. You can actually dive down to the state. So for Indiana, we are at 423,000 acres. In Kentucky, about 95,000 acres. As of right now, there's really no federal law that restricts foreign investors from acquiring any type of ag land or land in general. But I found an article that said 14 states, and then it sounds like there's a couple more that have added some type of legislation of foreign ownership to limit that in a couple of other states as well. And it sounds like maybe there's some on the docket for this coming year. But Indiana, Kentucky, and Iowa do have legislation in their state to limit foreign investors. So what y'all want to know about, and what I wanted to know about too, because when it came to the marketing letters and the podcasts, this is what they were talking about: Chinese ownership of US agricultural land. And the total acres, there's a little gray area here, about 380 some thousand acres. I saw a couple of different numbers there, but rounded off to about 380,000 acres with 82 to 84 different investors. Now, I think we have to keep in mind when it says investors, when it comes to Chinese ownership, that can also include their socialistic government. Not sure it's not necessarily the alarming of that particular number when we compare it to Canada, what, 9.3 million acres. I think it's the rate of increase that we're seeing Chinese ownership. So just within the last 2 years, we've seen that increase 30% from 2019. So out of 109 countries, China ranks 18th as far as ownership. But we've seen an overall increase in foreign ownerships and entities that own US ground. Again, that's been since 2015 that we stated earlier, and I think that's where the concern comes in. All of that brings in an increase of apprehension. We've had spy balloons going on. We've had increase in land prices, especially the last couple of years. And there's just a growing international competition for ag land's natural resources. So I think all of this adds to that. But now at least you know some numbers and might be able to talk further. If you are not in Indiana, in Kentucky, and Iowa, and you do have concerns about ownership from other countries in your particular state, I would say make sure your state reps know that you are concerned, because they can pass legislation that directly affects that. If you would like to have a conversation about this topic or many others, I would like to have a conversation with you as well. Reach out to me via text, send me an email. I'd be happy to have a conversation. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you in March.